You're watching Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
Can I get I'll get an Oilers win? Biggest one you got. Let's get into it with the lead.
Is it that mainstream that you could do that for the lead?
Probably not.
Or am I a boomer?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
No?
Did anyone in the chat get what Tyler just did or is referencing?
If anyone in the chat understands the Coors Light biggest one you got joke, please let me know. I need to see you comment. It's so funny. I've watched that video so many times.
Audience of one or audience of many? We'll find out.
You know what? My friends are maybe watching. If they got a laugh out of it, then that's good enough for me. Welcome into the show. We're live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online, sportscloset.ca. The show's a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary. Bet365. Look, my friend Connor's watching. Unreal joke. Love this guy.
Oh, wow.
You didn't have to say your friend. You could have just said, hey, look at this commenter.
Yeah.
Really cover yourself up a little bit. Hello, Connor.
Well, you would know his name. You would have
I
recognized
know.
him.
I wasn't going to blow your cover, though.
Ah.
I was going to let
No, you
have
got to
that
blow his cover.
Well, I got to pick my
You can't let him
spots.
get away with what he just did if it's not warranted. Liam, it's about accountability on this show.
Fair enough.
We
Fair
owe it
enough.
to the audience.
You have
Jay,
to stay truthful. You're right.
Short for Giant Game Day. Jay's back on the show for the first time in a month.
Is it a month? No.
It's been like,
It feels like a minute.
I think a week.
BM and I had a date in Toronto for a few days.
Oh.
I heard you guys got after it. Greta Bar Toronto. Hello.
I split the G.
Congrats. We're an anti-St. Patrick's Day show?
Oh. Well, I wouldn't
Not
say I'm
anti?
anti-St. Patrick's. I just believe in the other saint days, too, should be celebrated.
But there's no Saint Day that has the vigor behind it that St. Patty's Day does.
Because
So like,
society has pushed
what's
it that way.
what's like St. Michael's Day? Is it just like
Saint
fill your
Mike-
boots with crumpets? Doesn't
oh,
have the same like
Saint
people.
Michael. It's Saint George, and it's April 23rd every single year.
I just threw out a name.
I know, but like
Tell
you
me
said,
about St. George and what
Saint-
should I consume to celebrate him?
Well, it's the day before my birthday, so we
Irrelevant?
could have a great weekend
Irrelevant?
celebrating George and myself.
That's not George. George had nothing to do with your wonderful birth. So why would you try to
Well,
have
it's
that
just-
sully
it's
your
how
birthday?
It's how I remember.
Okay, how you remember your birthday is the day after St. George's birthday?
Yeah, it's
That's
like-
how you
it's
remember
St.
your
George's.
birthday.
Oh, it's my birthday tomorrow.
But what does one do to celebrate St. George's? There's
Do
no
the
pageantry.
we do the same thing. We just don't make our beer green.
Oh, you consume bulk alcohol.
Yes, yeah, basically. That's all these holidays are.
And
But
how
St.
come that hasn't
Patrick's-
made? Well, then shame on you for enforcing the
Well,
Commonwealth.
if we start making them red, everyone's going to think there's blood in the drinks.
Mm-hmm. They would. They
Green?
wouldn't know the
It's
difference.
just bogeys.
Bogeys?
Carry on the show.
All right.
I don't know. St. George? I've never heard of it.
Exactly. This is the
Well, shame
problem.
on you. Bad promoters.
Every St. Patrick's Day, I refuse to wear green, and I promote St. George.
So political.
It's not a political battle. I'm not against St. Patrick.
When is St. George's Day?
April 23rd every year.
And your birthday's on April 24th.
24th every year, even on leap years.
Yeah, no
All right,
shit.
so we're throwing a giant St. George event at Greta where red beer. Let's do it.
Let's do
Blood beer.
Red, blue, and white beer.
Blood, yeah, Red Nation beer gets consumed.
This might catch on.
And you split the fist
Yeah.
on your cup.
Split.
St. George needs a better PR
St. George,
team.
we got to put respect on his name. April 23rd, we're coming for you.
It'll be a Wednesday this year.
I'm gonna get what is it? The biggest one you got.
The biggest St. George beer.
Give me a
you
Red
got.
Nation beer. Biggest one you
Biggest
got.
one you got?
For Connor. That was just for you, Connor. Everyone else, you don't get it.
He probably
with
turned
you.
it off. He probably just stayed for my intro because I told him I'd do it.
Nice hockey show.
Short for Giant Game Day edition of the show. Edmonton taking on Utah, looking for a third straight win. Surprisingly enough, the Oilers 10th in the NHL in points percentage in the month of March. Things maybe
What?
aren't as bad as we thought it would be.
Oh, that means everyone's tanking.
Well, yeah, maybe,
much.
but this is also an interesting spot for the Oilers because we are on #standings watch. Race for the top spot in the Pacific Division, the race to stay above the LA Kings. The Oilers are behind the Kings when it comes to points percentage, but that will not be the case if Edmonton can pull off a victory tonight,
Big win for Minnesota last night.
taking down those hated LA Kings.
Did it finish 3-1? 3-0.
I think it was 3-1.
3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was huge.
But also tonight, a chance to put a little bit more pressure on the Vegas Golden Knights too. Like again, this is a really. What's up,
Liam?
Yep.
You've got a new converted St. George subscriber over here.
Thank you.
He's buttering me up for
April
something.
23rd. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for April 23rd. No, just want an honest opinion.
From me specifically?
From you specifically about this, because I talked about this on Real Life with Tyler a bit.
Oh, okay.
Would you not? Are you like is like winning the division? Isn't it kind of scary that you have to play Minnesota? Like mentally,
I think it's a bigger task than people would want you to believe because Minnesota has obviously slumped recently. But with Edmonton's run in Minnesota over the last decade, it's a bit more alarming.
Wouldn't you rather LA?
If I had to pick the two, I think I would rather Minnesota, just based off the idea of percentage-wise, eventually LA should beat you one year. I think Oilers can beat both of them, but I would have Minnesota slightly ahead in wanting to play them more. I don't think they have as much firepower. And LA's goaltending is I think it's pretty underrated.
Yeah, and Philip Gustafson has been pretty average since his hot start.
Yeah,
and the Oilers have gotten to him really, really easily. I don't know. Something that needs to be included in that though, Jay.
Yeah.
Playing Minnesota, if you view it as close with LA, there is also the added part of you're only playing Minnesota if you finish in first, which means you get home ice advantage for rounds 1 and 2.
And the one part about Minnesota though that LA it doesn't have is a player like Kirill Kaprizov.
Okay, but then yes. But
I don't know.
But then there's the mental component.
I've played Minnesota.
Of playing Minnesota or playing LA or Minnesota playing Edmonton versus LA playing Edmonton.
Yeah, is that?
It's just a debate.
Because if the Oilers get ahead, if they play LA and they get ahead of that series, so many of those Kings players have been in that spot already. Heads might go down.
Done.
But Minnesota is when was the last time they played each other in the playoffs?
Yeah,
a long time ago.
Probably never.
And maybe never. Yeah.
Yeah, because what North Stars were they in the old Smythe division days?
Yeah, because when they were in the same division, it obviously wasn't the similar thing, and the Oilers never made the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think I view it as a coin flip between Minnie and LA. I think if the Oilers play their A game, they beat either one of those teams relatively easily. And I want home ice advantage in round 2 if I got to take down the Vegas Golden Knights. Also, LA could probably beat Vegas. So wouldn't you want a path of going Minnie then LA, round 1, round 2? Boom, boom.
less travel.
Should we put a poll in the chat?
No, it's like a 3-hour flight. It's ish. Yeah,
Okay.
Start a poll.
Globally.
Who would you rather?
Well, LA and Vegas obviously a lot closer for those two.
Yeah.
And I mean, it seems pretty inevitable that top 4
probably would also argue similar.
LA Vegas?
Yeah, because LA Vegas. Sorry. I was thinking mini.
Mini.
Yeah, my bad.
Let me throw this your way. Would you rather play LA, Minnesota, or Vancouver in round 1?
Oh, Vancouver.
Give me Vancouver. Hook it in my veins.
Well, they're 8 points back in Minnesota right now with a game in hand. Maybe.
They need to go on a heater.
They have never played each other in the playoffs.
All right. Calgary, they're 10 points back of Mini, but they have 2 games in hand. I'd love for Calgary to go on a run and for it to be Edmonton-Calgary round 1. That'd be electric.
That would be a lot of fun.
Or what if we just win out the season and win the whole conference?
Well, the
probably
Oilers
still unlikely.
The Oilers are 16 points back of the Winnipeg Jets.
Man, what a
really?
regular season!
That is
Crazy.
nuts.
Isn't that monster?
Crazy.
That's gonna be
monster.
crazy when they
There's
lose.
no bad days in Winnipeg right now. None.
No?
When have they had a bad day?
They're on a 3-game
Probably when
winning
they're
streak.
trying to go to a nice sunny vacation. There's no airport
that's
to
gotta be
board a plane on. That's probably when.
My a gentleman I know, a fantasy football punishment, just had to take a bus to Winnipeg and back.
And back. Ooh. That's what, like a 15, 17 hour one
I
way?
think total, it was like almost 40 hours.
Yeah, 30-some hours.
Yeah.
A buddy of yours had to do that.
Yeah, some guy I know.
Shout out Adam Kent.
The winner of the league, I believe, has to pick the punishment. And in years past, he's lost the league before, and he had to get a tattoo.
Yeah.
And now this time it's got a bus to Winnipeg.
Oh, man.
I would stop playing fantasy football.
I'd drop out of that league, 100%.
I would just, move
To Winnipeg.
and get a new phone.
Fair. Okay, there is some interesting things going on with the Oilers lineup, boys, so I want to get into that. But first, Lance Kane put in a super chat, $5 for our boy Lance Kane, who didn't comment cup year. He wants us to wish him a happy birthday. So happy birthday to my good friend Lance Kane.
Happy birthday.
Always
Lance.
love seeing you in the chat. I hope you have a great birthday.
How do you remember your birthday? Is it after a Saints Day as well? How do you do it?
Yeah,
It's the day after St.
It's the day after St.
Oh,
Patrick's.
jeez. That's how he remembers it.
And I'll never
That
forget
is
it now
funny.
either.
Wow, it's
That is
amazing.
funny.
You're so lucky to have a Saints birthday before yours to help remember your birthday.
It's good to have
happy
one
birthday,
of those
Lance.
milestones right before.
Happy birthday,
That's
Lance.
how out of touch I am with just life is that I forgot yesterday was St. Patty's Day. Didn't have one green beer.
Not one.
I used to have green beers. It was like mandated in my life.
Yeah, not anymore.
The restaurant I went to was like, the green beer is optional. We only do it if you ask. And I was like, who's coming in on St. Patrick's Day and saying no to the green beer?
Yeah, give me that green beer.
Yeah. Anyways,
I had a St. Patty's Day themed cookie from Bread and Butter.
Oh,
And how was that?
I did see those. The shamrock cookies.
A bicky. It was good.
A bicky.
What? Anyways.
Aussies call cookies bickies.
We got another comment. Alex Plant is looking good. He actually is starting to thrive a little bit.
Oh, I like
He's reacting a little bit to where the sun is too, which I think is the sign of a healthy plant. I moved him earlier, but when I came in, his leaves were kind of pointed towards the sun. So I think that's good. We also got a super chat from Jake who said, think Knobloch finally got the lineup right, which is a nice tie-in to our lineup report for today, boys. It's brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Download the Oodle Noodle app, order takeout or delivery. It's easy, and you can earn free Oodle Noodle. Sign up for the loyalty program. New customers get 1,500 loyalty points, which is a $15 value just for signing up. So if I just download the Oodle Noodle app, I get $15 in value.
It's a life hack.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Just free to get from the Apple
box.
Store or Google Play Store. Okay.
Delicious.
Giddy up.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Oodle Noodle app. The lineup tonight, Zach Hyman, he's back. Matthias Ekholm, he's back.
Oh, my
Jeff
boy.
Skinner, he's back on the top line.
Whoa.
Jeff Skinner will play on a line with Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman. Your initial reactions to that?
Good. Jeff Skinner played well the other day. Deserves to be on that line. We obviously went through the numbers yesterday, and they looked impressive. So I'm a fan of it. I think this is also a compliment to that third line. I think they played very well the other day as well against the Rangers and against the Islanders. They were fine too, minus Nugent Hopkins' mishap on the long goal. But I think this is the right way to go.
Plus 375 to score. I only know that because I made a big wager.
I was thinking about that. He was plus 400 the other day when he went up to Draisaitl's line.
Yeah.
Too, so.
Adam Henrique's time on Connor McDavid's wing, relatively short-lived, you could say. He's back down now as the fourth-line center with Janmark and Kapanen. Nuge will center Podkolzin and Arvidsson on the third line. Perry and Brown stay with Draisaitl on the second line. Interesting that they're going to keep rolling out Corey Perry in the top six, but you can't say he hasn't earned it because he's been one of the best stories on the team.
Yeah.
The worm.
He's been awesome. And he's like keeping up with pace pretty well, I've found too. Like obviously in the playoffs, the big story was like he couldn't skate, but whatever he did in the offseason, he's been able to just maintain his form all year, and credit to him. Hopefully we can see it in April as well.
If Nuge and Arvidsson can get things rolling here, which again, a goal for RV, 3 points for Nuge the other night. If they can get things rolling and be a third line that actually produces offense, like Jeff Skinner says in the comments right now, love that third line. I think I might like it too. Podkolzin plays with, a little bit of jam. He's just got to learn how to score or learn how to shoot pucks. But if those three can get going a little bit, I like the look of that third line. And then it also, again, creates a very interesting conversation when Trent Frederick gets in the lineup. Because then I think you maybe just slide Frederick onto line 2 next to Leon Draisaitl.
And Corey Perry?
I would do Draisaitl, Perry, and Frederick.
I would too.
And then you put Connor Brown on the fourth line instead of Kapanen, and you're back to, or you have, Henrique, Janmark, Brown.
Like,
Damn.
if Adam Henrique is your fourth line center for the right reasons,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think so too. Like, it's interesting because obviously he's a $3 million player. The Oilers paid a high price to get him, and there's all this controversy right now with Scott Lawton in Toronto. He played fourth line center for them, but at the end of the day, it's like what Dubnyk said to us the other week when he was on Minnesota and they got Martin Hansel. It's like they were forcing him into the lineup and he wasn't fitting. If guys slot into the lineup in like a fourth line role like Henrique is and he does well, like, what does it matter?
And if they're playing everybody, right? That's the other thing, too, is like, I don't want that fourth line to be playing 6 minutes a night.
Totally.
Play them 12, 13 minutes a night, though. Like, give them a legit opportunity to make an impact here, give them a defined role, and go from
it
there.
helps the other 9 guys.
Yeah.
If your fourth line, if you can roll it.
And the other thing, too, that third line has been playing well. I'd be curious to know what their competition has been. And if like the fourth line eventually, when Janmark goes down, and maybe they're using it like this too now, but like is your shut down defensive trio, I guess we can call them, then Podkolzin and Nugent Arvidsson are going to be getting some softer matchups.
Yeah. The blue line, our boy Rusty, the reckless optimist, who I think tonight's a pretty tough game for our boy Rusty.
Oh, yeah.
It's his hometown Utah Hockey Club, home state Utah Hockey Club.
Why is
taking
this a
on
hard game for Rusty?
because he lives in Utah.
No.
Okay.
He
Sorry.
does. He's an Oilers fan.
Yeah, okay. I don't, well, I
This
know.
only amps him up.
Yeah, but I know he wants to see playoff hockey in Utah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
What if Utah making the playoffs means eventually you could get an Edmonton-Utah series?
Yeah, well, at some point, but
That
that's
would be
not right
exciting.
now.
Okay.
So
He did comment that the blue line is sexy. He says it's not tough at all. Go Oilers.
yeah.
Okay, my bad, Rusty.
Jeez.
That's on me. I'll wear it. I'll wear
Hey,
that.
Rusty, are we going to see you in Vegas? You going to drive up? Can we see you?
How far is that? That's pretty close, right?
Well, globally. Yeah, it's probably a 4 to 7, 8 hour drive. I can't remember.
4 to 7.
I've done it. I've done it. I just don't
You've
remember.
done it. You don't remember it.
I drove from Edmonton to L.A., and so part of that is going from Salt Lake to Vegas.
5 hours and 49 minutes.
There you
It's
go.
like going to Beaver Lodge.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking, Liam.
Seems like some recency bias there.
I make trips to Fort St. John most summers.
Oh, it's actually beautiful country up there.
It is.
Go a little bit further. Go, what's it, Dawson Creek? Yeah.
Dawson Creek's closer.
Oh,
You have to go through Dawson to get to Fort St. John.
okay. Well, then go up to Nelson and then go to Lake Muncho.
Okay.
Muncho Lake, I should say.
Put
Wonderful
that on-
place.
Put that on my agenda this summer.
Thank you. What was I even talking about? You
Rusty,
guys. Oh,
you
the
looked
blue
up-
line is sexy. This is glorious. It's beautiful. I love every single part of this. Matthias Ekholm back in the lineup, back on his spot next to Evan Bouchard. Hopefully we get Matthias Ekholm busting out of his little slump, back at 100% health, and Nurse and Wallman I think is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm curious how this plays out. Because I think Nurse and Wallman should be the Oilers' top pairing.
Well, I think however you dice it up here, like they have a legitimate top four now. Like this is a very, very good blue line.
If Ekholm is just feeling better, that's the big thing. If we have 85% Ekholm, that's just going to really help Bouch.
And that's why I think his minutes obviously a little bit, but like just competition should be lesser because he's not 100%. And he's not the player he was last season for the Oilers and the year before that. He's still really good, but if you can bring those two guys down,
right now.
but that's what I mean, like ease him into
You're
it.
putting him to pasture right now.
I'm just saying, game one of the playoffs, let's see where he's at, but let's give him time to get there.
Yeah.
Don't play him 25 tonight is my point.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The Oilers have outshot the other team when Evan Bouchard's on the ice in 8 of their last 9 games. I don't think enough people are recognizing that Evan Bouchard has been one of their best players, probably top 3 on the list of most impactful Oilers over the last 10 games. He's scoring again. The numbers are all back.
He's getting
He's
his
playing
mojo
with a
back.
decent amount of intensity. And again, now he's getting Matthias Ekholm back. Like he scored twice on that road trip. He finished with, he was on a 7-game point streak before it got snapped against the New York Rangers.
7?
Like 7-game point streak
Damn, yeah, he's been a lot better.
with 4 goals in that stretch. Carolina, Montreal, OT winner, Buffalo, and New Jersey.
I wrote an article the other day about just like how the Oilers should measure his contract, his next one, which we don't have to get into again, but a part of it is too, and like he needs to eliminate these major gaffes, which are so glaringly obvious when they happen, and I think he's done a way better job of that recently. Obviously,
I haven't noticed a bad turnover.
like people will look at the Buffalo game where he lost that battle between Thompson and whoever it was, Norris, whatever it was, but like, it's also a tough spot to be in. He was put in a bad position, but like outside of that, maybe I'm forgetting something. It doesn't seem like it's been as terrible.
Doug Wade says, Tyler, is Bouchard really good or is everyone else playing bad?
I also thought that a little bit.
No.
He has been playing well, but it's made him look better because everyone else has been poor.
Who would you rather play in round 1? Our poll, 59% Minnesota, 41%
So
LA.
it's, kind of tight, right?
It's kind of tight. It's kind of tight. Speaking of Minnesota, Let's go to the Star Mechanical guest line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more about them online by visiting them at starmechanical.ca, whether it's residential, commercial, or, and this is important this time of year, 24/7 emergency service. You know who to call, Star Mechanical. Maybe you'll even get lucky and get Red to be your plumber. No one in the world I'd trust more than Red from Star Mechanical to work on my home. On that note, we bring in Devan Dubnyk. Devan, if the Oilers play Minnesota in round 1, can we stay at your house?
Absolutely. We got all the games in the back. We talked about that. They need to get used.
All right, there you go. That's legally binding, by
That
the way.
is, yeah. There's
That's
a
going to help
lot
with our
of
travel
witnesses.
budget this year.
A lot of witness.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope you got Coors Light because I like the big one.
A
Coors Light.
lot of
Big Coors
witnesses.
Light.
All right. Can do that.
I want to do a little film breakdown with you because Calvin Pickard made a couple of plays in that game against the New York Islanders that were, I think, game-changing in overtime. One of them was obviously the pass to the pass to Connor McDavid, which then went to Leon Draisaitl for the goal. But Aaron, can we have the clip of him going behind the net to get a loose puck? I think this just shows, if I'm being blunt, the balls Calvin Pickard's got. To go out of his net like this, Devan, and play a puck that's like almost in a scrum is crazy.
Yes, that is crazy. And there's zero hesitation too. I mean, you gotta be feeling it at this point. This puck is loose, but is that Engvall? It looks like at any point in time, he could turn around and grab that puck. So he's reading the play well. He knows that they're by themselves. So he's got the confidence to go get it. I mean, yeah, that's a 50-50 puck, or certainly looks like it for him to go get that and get it clear is huge. But he's right now has got to be seeing and knowing that it's just, obviously there's a line change on both sides. So he knows that he's not going to get attacked by somebody else. But I can certainly tell you I'd be staying in my crease on this one.
I think 99% of goalies would. Like when he did that, I was laughing. I was like, man, this guy is feeling it right now. He played great on Friday on Long Island, and then they still went to Stuart Skinner on Sunday, who played great at MSG, and now they're going back to Calvin Pickard again tonight as they return home. So it kind of seems like they're going in just more of a rotation versus a keep playing the hot hand. Do you think that's a good or bad idea this close to the playoffs?
Well, I think it's a good idea when they're both playing. And if it gets them both playing and both rested, I think a really important part of this is communication with the goalies, letting them know what the plan is, what the expectations are, if it's going to be a rotation, if this is just what it is right now. Just eliminate the guessing game with the guys, because it's hard enough to play as it is. You don't want the guys wondering who's going to start, why are they starting, what the plan is. The more communication you can have with these two, and they're going to cheer each other on. It's just the way it is. You know, there's no bad blood or having Skinner upset when Pickard plays well and vice versa. I guarantee you these guys are cheering him on. And if they're both playing well and they're both winning, it's going to be fun for everybody, and all is good in the world for both of these guys. And that's one thing that you learn when you're playing is winning is winning is fun. And if you're both doing it, you're both going to be lifting each other up. No one's bringing the other one down. So I think this is an exciting thing for the Oilers. A lot always gets talked about the goaltending. We talk about it every week, and people didn't like it. They wanted something to be done at the deadline. Now you got two guys playing great, and if you can have them both going into playoffs, it's a difficult situation, but it's a good problem to have. I still think they gotta lean towards Skinner to start with. But it's great to have that flexibility where there's just a short leash. If the play slips, or if the coaches just feel there needs to be a change, you got a guy that the guys obviously love playing for in Calvin Pickard as well.
After that win against New York, Leon Draisaitl called Calvin Pickard, I believe it was the heartbeat of the team, if I'm not mistaken. I just wanted to know, how different of a role does the backup goaltender have to play in the dressing room than what a starter would?
Yeah, it is a different role, and obviously it depends on personality. But Pickard's obviously a guy that's very well liked. He battles when he plays. That's a big thing. You see him get out there. He is a little bit unorthodox, but he's a puck stopper, and he works and he battles, and he's going to do anything for the guys, and they can see that, and that's comments like that that the guys know that, and they're gonna step up and play for him as well. But it is different. I mean, usually if in a normal situation when you're not playing as much, I played a lot and had Stalock as my backup. And, he brought things to the rink every day. He brought great attitude and energy. He was funny, worked his butt off in practice. same type of deal. He didn't play that much when I was playing, and a lot. But when he did, he was unorthodox and he worked his butt off. He played the puck well. He did all these things, and the guys showed up for him. The guys would go to work for him because they knew he was going to go to war for them. And that's kind of that role as a backup. So it does get a little different when a backup starts to play more. And I think it's important, whatever Pickard's routine is, whatever his personality is, whatever he normally brings to the room, is to not change that, not go changing your routine, thinking I got to do something different because I'm playing more as starter. Because you want to keep doing what keeps you relaxed and comfortable. And whatever that is for Pickard, he's got to keep doing it and not think he's got to change or do something different.
We were debating earlier in the show. It looks like the two most likely first-round opponents for the Oilers, it's either going to be the Kings or it's going to be the Minnesota Wild. They're one of those two that you think matches up better. Obviously, Edmonton's had the historical success against the LA Kings, but, I mean, eventually you're not going to win that series. If you played 100 times, you don't win 100 of them. But what do you make about potentially matching up against Minnesota in the playoffs?
Yeah, it's the thing with Minnesota is purely going to come down to health and what their lineup looks like. When they have a full lineup, Kaprizov back, Eriksson back, Brodin, when it's a different lineup. I mean, those are three major pieces it's just a different team. They need Kaprizov. They need that game breaker in the lineup, and so you see their success at the start of the season with that group. If they have a full healthy group, I don't necessarily think that I would be choosing that matchup, because they got Gustafsson, who's played extremely well, that can get hot and steal a series, and obviously the legend Marc-Andre Fleury on the bench if need be too. So I think if they don't have those guys back, then I might take that over LA, but I don't know if I'd want to take Minnesota coming back with a rested, healthy lineup.
Oilers have Utah tonight. Obviously, a team that's pushing for a playoff spot as well. I guess what do you make of this Utah team, and also Karel Vejmelka, someone a lot of Oilers fans wanted to come here at the deadline. Obviously, it didn't happen. He signed an extension. What do you make of his play, and do you think he's capable of getting him across the line into the postseason?
Yeah, he's been great. It's always weird to watch the guys that catch the other way, but he's a great goaltender, and this is such a huge year for Utah, because coming off last couple of years in Arizona, they needed to make a step, and they're so young. You go down their leading points guys. I mean, you look, it's 21, 20 years old, 22 years old, 24 years old. I mean, it's this group of kids, and I don't think that they were expected to make a playoff push this year, but at some point they were expected to take a step forward, and for them to be not only fake playing for the playoffs, they're actually playing for the playoffs. They're not like 5 points out and pretending like there's a chance. They have a real chance of making the playoffs, and that is such a huge thing for this incredibly young group of guys to play this meaningful hockey right now and know what it takes, know the pressures that come with it, the day-to-day stuff, being able to let go of one game, win or loss, and get ready for the next game. You cannot have games bleed into each other, whether it's emotionally or bad play or whatever. They just cannot bleed into each other right now, because the margin for error is so thin when it comes to points that they need to get them all the time. And these are all things that are just going to be huge for this team going forward, for these guys to be able to experience this right now. And you never know. I mean, when you get a young group like this where there wasn't expectations, and this is all kind of bonus time, and they're essentially playing with house money right now. Nobody expected them to be there. That can be a dangerous team too.
I have a question. I hope this makes sense, but the Oilers have they're 28th in strength of schedule for the rest of the year. So they have the fourth easiest schedule in the league from now until game 82. And we had some people in the chat who kind of were doing the Oilers always play bad against bad teams. And there's also always that narrative that like these teams lower in the standings, like San Jose, who they're going to get 3 times in their final like 12 games of the season. It's like, oh, well, they can be scrappy. What's the mood like? Because, I mean, I guess you've been on, obviously, contenders in Minnesota where you're in a playoff spot and you have to play those games against weaker teams. But when you were an Oiler, you were on the flip side of that. You were on a young team that was 15, 20 points out of the playoffs. What is the vibe like in the room on a team like that where you're playing out the stretch? Is it really, like, energetic and scrappy? Do you ever truly buy into the role of playing spoiler? Or are you just kind of like, okay, get me out of here. When's game 82?
Well, usually these teams, and especially now, but you look at San Jose, this is all a group. They're built out of young players that are getting their ice time, getting their experience. So the energy is going to be there. That scrappiness is going to be there because these guys they haven't been around. They're not just cruising into the end of the year. They're playing for their lives. They're playing for their careers to their next contract. All of these things to build this experience. So you're going to have the energy of these kids coming out. And that's the danger of these games, really, is for a team like the Oilers, is if Edmonton comes out and puts their foot on the gas and plays their game, they should be all over them. But if you don't, there's no bad team. So these teams are fully capable of being on the ice with you, playing with you, that the energy is going to be there. And I think the focus is to build your game toward the playoffs and focus on what you need to do as a group. So the Oilers need to go out and play their game and execute their game, not think about the fact that it's a team out of the playoffs and, it's going to be sloppy probably. It's not going to be like playing Vegas or LA or anything like that. But that doesn't matter. Focus on the things that they need to have pinpointed by the time the playoffs come. And then they'll go out in those games and you can take those games over. That's kind of the danger of these games, is like you either let them hang around and it becomes a sloppy, chippy game, or you put your foot on the gas and show them how much better of a team you are. And it's much easier said than done, but they have to find a way because you don't want these games as throwaways leading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, like they let points slip last week against Buffalo. Like that was a team on a 6-game slide that I think you're right. You just let them linger, and then it gets to the third period and it's like, oh shit, one bounce is going to end up deciding this thing, and that's ultimately what happened. You just let it become a coin flip, I guess, when it gets to that point. Last one for me, I just wanted to go AB. Could we flash up the standings again? It's razor thin right now in the West. Like Vancouver, 73 points, St. Louis, 73 points, Calgary and Utah both just 2 points back, but Calgary's got a couple of games in hand. If you had to place a wager on one of those four, who do you think grabs that final spot?
Gosh, I'm torn. Honestly, I'm torn between St. Louis and Calgary. I mean, Calgary's got the games in hand. I like Dustin Wolf. I like what he's done this year. But St. Louis is starting to turn it up, and this is a team that I think is underperformed all year. So if I had to pick one, I would go St. Louis. But I don't know. It's a coin flip for me between St. Louis and Calgary. I think Vancouver's flipping a little bit. I think they might fall out of it. And I think Utah runs out of gas, to be honest. No offense to those guys, but you got that's my take. I'm gonna if I got to pick one, I'm gonna say St. Louis.
That's a veteran group. No Parayko hurts them, but I'm not a believer in the Canucks either. I don't know what the hell is gonna go on there this summer. I think it's gonna get ugly. But you got another one?
I'm good. I'm good for this week. Yeah.
All right. We're good. Devan, thanks for your time as always, man. Thanks for popping on. And this is the first time, someone pointed out in the chat, this is the first time you've appeared on this show on the heels of an Oilers win. So it was nice to be positive about the goalies for once.
Yes. I didn't know that, but I would have kicked off the show pretty quick if that trend continued.
We're happy that slump is over. Okay, thanks for doing this. We'll chat again next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
There you go. Devan Dubnyk on the Star Mechanical guest line. Devan Dubnyk is
nervous about Minnesota.
A little bit, yeah.
The more I thought about it, because when he was going through the roster, I'd be a physical series.
Yeah.
Probably more physical than LA, to be honest. Just like the kind of guys that they have, right?
Like Boldy's a weapon. Eriksson X seems to eat our lunch.
We will talk about that physicality in just a second, but Devan Dubnyk was also brought to you by our friends at Tim Hortons. Canada, your favorite contest is back, but it's only on until March 23rd. A roll up to win back at Tim Hortons. That means you could win millions of amazing prizes with just the swipe of a thumb. Imagine turning your routine Tim's run into an unforgettable vacation with Sell-Off Vacations, $1,000 Rakuten cash prize, or an all-new, all-electric 2025 Volkswagen ID Buzz. Even the simple joys of winning a free coffee can make anyone's day. Love to know the feeling. Play Roll Up to Win on the Tim's app today. All right, I know a bunch of you in the chat were talking about it.
Should I do it on the app?
Liam will do it on the app. I will do it. People were saying if I use my thumbs, it'll be better luck. So here we go.
You go. With
I won!
Oy!
The slump's over! The slump's over. I won a coffee.
Congrats.
Let's go! Woo!
Wow, that's legitimate excitement.
That was real. Yeah, they could feel the passion.
So contest ends March 23rd, or as I like to call it, the 1 month countdown to St. George's Day.
Okay.
Here, just show the people the proof.
I went 0 for 3.
Oh,
Well,
I don't know if you can see that.
no, you can't.
It's a win. It's a winner. It's
Well
a win.
done.
Everyone's fired up in the chat. Slump breaker. This was the sign, says Mackay and Dry. We did it, everybody.
This is huge.
What a journey it was.
Well, 11 episodes
Yeah.
it took.
2 weeks.
You thought the chat thought that Dubnyk was on a slump.
Yeah.
Hot streak? Question mark.
Start of an Oilers heater. I'm going to have my free coffee tomorrow.
Wow.
What a day.
Did you go to a different one?
Nope, same one.
Well, kind of that probably should have been the strategy.
Redemption.
Eventually, you were going to get a winner.
Yep.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, redeem that tomorrow.
I will.
Good luck.
So exciting.
Maybe you'll get another free one.
Oh, I still have some coffee left. in here.
Compounding.
Yeah. Keep it streak
Infinite
alive.
returns.
Oh, I also, on my Safeway picks, I went 3-2 because I just bet against Vegas and LA all week. And
they
3-2.
Shout out Minnesota.
3-2. Everyone's saying it means an Oilers win tonight. So on that note, let's get to the Bet365 Game Day Betting Challenge, boys. It's brought to you by Bet365. Download the app today and use the promo code NATION. Bet365 is an official partner of the NHL. Download the app to get in the game. Shout out to Bet365. All right, Jay, you're down.
Chat, I want to thank you for going to bat for me when I was not here and forgot to submit my bet and putting the bet together.
yeah.
They came
But
through for
shame
you.
on you for picking a loser.
Yeah. I came through with a win on Friday against the
did.
Islanders, which means I am right back on the edge of being profitable on the year. Liam still in first. Jay, minus 31.7 units. He is 2-36 on the season.
For now.
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
32.7.
I am going to go down swinging for the rest of this season.
That's really your only option. But the thing is, if you hit one of these, you're going to be in first.
If
so
I win this season, this will be amazing.
it'll be something. Much like the Oilers, I am looking to keep my hot streak going after winning my bet on Friday. I'm keeping it nice and simple here. I think Connor McDavid is going to get rolling. I think scoring that goal the other day is going to give him some juice. He's going to start ripping pucks. So give me McDavid 3 shots, McDavid 2 points, and Edmonton on the puck line. It comes in at plus 450. Plus 450. That would be nice. That would get me nice and close to you.
That's fine.
All right. You're not scared. So what are you doing tonight?
Dry saddle goal.
Plus 110.
Plus 110. Got 50 tonight.
I got a plus 115.
Did you?
Wow, you're a sharp.
Well, I'll wait.
Jay moved the line.
I'll wait 10 minutes into the period. Then I'll bet it.
Jay, give the people your bet. This is insane.
Well, tonight's game is Utah's coming in as Edmonton's Slam Man. Do you remember what Slam Man is?
Nope.
It was that like figure that you would put and you'd beat the crap out of it.
I do remember Slam.
All right, so Slam Man's in town. Oilers need a bloodbath game. They haven't had one in a while, so we're laying the boots to Utah. That is the theory. Who's going to score? Leon. He's going to get his 50th tonight. He's well overdue to get. Should have got the empty net last game, so you know he's doing it. He's hungry. McDavid, to Tyler's point, is lighting it up, waking up. 2+ points.
Hasn't hit his shot prop in 4 games, but anyways.
But he can pass the puck.
Yep.
So that's why you don't go Connor goal. This is a alternate puck line to support the Slam Man theory. Minus 3.5. This is a 5-1, 6-1 drubbing.
Okay.
And Leon is going to need to shoot the puck to be able to score a goal tonight. So we have Leon at 4+ shots. And Bush, to what you guys have been saying, is
Playing well.
and getting pucks through, most importantly. 4+ shots, plus 7,000. Thank you very much.
Mistaken Mexican says Jay's going to hit all of this, but Bush is going to tease Jay
Yes.
sitting on 3 shots for most of the game.
Yes.
I
I will
hope-
lose this because of Bush, because that's just karma.
Doug Wade says anytime Tyler and Jay guarantee a win, we lose. That is a decent point,
Yeah,
but
that's
I am pretty confident tonight. I love the puck
whoa,
line.
Whoa. Is that true?
No.
Maybe recently that's true.
Yeah, against Buffalo. I said it.
Yeah, I wasn't there,
Yeah.
but I would have said it.
All right. An interesting thing came up today on Twitter, and I noticed it. In a press-
Also, as our side bet, our side squad, want to get silly on the side squad?
Okay.
Okay.
Skinner goal.
Stu?
Jeff or Stu? Stu's not playing.
That used to be my joke. That was my bit earlier in the season, and I thought we put it to bed.
Yep.
But
We
I
did.
guess it's back.
Jeff Skinner. I like
We
top line Jeff
resurrected it?
Skinner. What is he to score first tonight? Maybe that's
First.
Oh.
You,
22 to 1.
Yeah, I'll dabble that too.
Yeah, why not?
Add to it.
Why not?
Do you have my email, Aaron? Throw it up.
You sent Aaron an email?
I did. Slam Man.
Yes. That is a
And
slam
I
man.
thought the color was perfect.
Yep. Yeah.
That fist is Jay's, and that is to the Utah Hockey Club.
That
tonight.
fist is the -3.5
yes.
right to the nose of the Utah Slam Man.
All right.
I'm gonna make a meme of that later.
Let's quickly get to some game notes for our friends at Douglas Mattress. You can sleep as good as I do by getting a Douglas Mattress, a locally owned and operated Edmonton company. You can get your mattress or check them out in their first physical location in Manchester Square. Find out more on their website. Go to douglas.ca/OilersNation. Great value starting at $599. Free shipping across Canada as well. So no matter where you are in this beautiful land, you can get yourself a Douglas mattress. Oh boy, Liam.
Did you not think that was going to...
Liam's got his...
I thought I had it for a second.
Liam's got his full notebook out for game notes for Douglas Mattress. Liam,
game notes.
It's almost a Douglas mattress-sized notebook.
yeah, really.
Big handwriting.
I bet you it's a very comfortable notebook if Douglas
Can
made
barely
it.
tell, Liam.
So Liam, I'm assuming you have some notes for us.
I have 2.
Okay.
and I
gave
have
it
a-
away?
The amount
I
of
have a
notes does not
question.
quantify the size of notepad you've brought to this segment.
I got roped into a meeting right at the end of I did these. So first one I have for you. Clayton Keller obviously didn't make the Four Nations team, which is surprising. Since February 1st, he has 6 goals, 13 assists, 19 points in 16 games. He's a good player. He had a 5-point game in there as well.
Okay.
Second one I have. Karel Vamelka versus Edmonton in his career. Has played 5 games,
Okay.
1 win, 8.75 save percentage, and a 4.50 goals against average. In these last 5 games, there's an 8.85 save percentage against Vancouver, Seattle, Anaheim, Toronto, and Chicago. So not exactly a murderous row of teams. He won one of those games, I think. Now, my final one is, obviously, we're on Leon 50 watch. So this is a trivia question. Can you see my answers, Jay?
No.
No? Okay, perfect.
He doesn't have his contacts and he can't read anything.
Awesome. They're in my pocket.
Okay. So there has been 4 players, and I know this is different because Utah isn't part of Arizona and the Jets' history. But 4 players in the Coyotes and Jets franchise have scored 50 goals.
Timo Solani.
Who was the last one to do it?
Oh.
I'll give you a clue. Out of those 4, only one of them played for the Coyotes. Scored out of the 4 players that scored 50, only one of them scored 50 as a Coyote, but he also scored 50 as a Jet.
Keith Kachuk.
Keith Kachuk, 1997. He did it back-to-back years. There you go. The other 2,
He's
Dale
excited.
There you go.
Kachuk and Timo Solani, 72 goals. There you go. Fun
All
facts. That's all I got.
I wanted to share this Ryan Rashog tweet, which I think serves as a nice game note. Pop it up, baby. I need to be able to read it because I closed it on my browser. Ryan Rashog, I've probably asked Chris Knobloch no less than 30 times this season about his lack of physicality. It's been at times a playful back and forth, but probably pretty annoying for him overall. Today he presented me with a couple of stats. Last 12 Oilers losses, they've out-hit the other team 11 times. In their 36 wins this season, they've been out-hit in 32 of them. So the Oilers have only out-hit the opposition and won the game 4 times this season.
This is such a dumb stat.
Okay.
Those 32 games or whatever, 36 games,
Yeah.
we have the puck the whole time.
Okay. Yes.
The games we're losing, we don't. We're trying to hit them and get the puck back.
Yeah.
I said the same thing.
So there needs to be like a possession hit stat where you combine it. We got to hit these guys a lot, but we need to have the puck more than them, a lot more. So what's your hit possession? Come on, fancy analytics guys.
Yeah, what is
Build
that?
me a formula. What's the PDO for this?
Like, I totally understand because Dallas Aikens used to always push that too. He's like, hits aren't a good stat because you're only hitting guys if you don't have the puck. And I get that. I think there is some sort of a middle ground here where, like, yes, being a team that hits a lot and leads the league in hits is not a great stat. But also, like, my eye test is I would like to know, or I would like to see the Oilers crank up their physicality a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think they're a very physical team on the forecheck, and I think they would win more games if they were more physical on the forecheck.
Yeah, I just say this statement is dumb. Yeah, we need to be blowing guys up. We don't do that enough at all.
Like, I'm not worried about the volume of hits. I'm just worried
And what
about the...
quantifies as a hit in this new NHL?
Well,
Is that a hit? 1 hit for Jay?
I just think the Oilers could be more physical in a way that is not going to be counted on the score sheet, if that makes sense. Like, we've talked a lot, Liam, about their willingness to go to the front of the net and how rare it is to see them go and like park themselves in front of a goalie. Like, that's a part of it for me too. It's just overall physicality, not just hits. That's maybe the best way for me to say it.
Yeah, like winning puck battles, like regaining possession after shots, like the second chances. We can talk about that stuff of like, do they get the shot off again right after off a rebound? It's like, but regaining possession is just as vital as doing that and regrouping and going again. And when the others win games, that's what they do more often than not. When they lose games, it's because they show minimal effort. So the hits thing is kind of irrelevant to me.
Visual physicality, not the stat of physicality, the visual physicality and strong possession. Because like that, granted, we almost let Dallas back into that game, but we played well with the puck, and we played well physically without the puck, and we took down a juggernaut.
Yeah, good team.
Like that was like there was like I know it got closer than it should have. Like, but that game, how we were playing was a no doubter because we were owning both sides of it.
Yeah, and we'll see. Maybe that's one of those things. This team will just flip the switch and
Playoff mode.
Yeah, get into playoff mode, and you'll start to see some hits. But I would just like to see that happen a little bit
Vander
quicker.
Kane. Just running around.
Trent Frederick will help.
When does he come back? What's the latest? Come
I
on,
would
give him
imagine
days.
next week.
Yeah.
Next week?
I think early next week. But the Oilers don't play next week until like Wednesday.
I'll take Wednesday.
So
I'm going to Wednesday's game.
Against, is it Dallas?
Dallas.
Yeah.
Another big game.
I can see him coming back for that.
All right, let's wrap up game notes by getting a few from our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant.
So the last time the Oilers played Utah, the Oilers won 4-1, and Stuart Skinner had a .963 save percentage. Let's go Oilers.
Connor McDavid has 21 points in 10 games against Utah Hockey Club, formerly the Arizona Coyotes.
Hey, Giant Mike here. Leon Draisaitl is on an 18-game point streak. This is the 5th longest since 2010. Go Oilers.
I love Giant Mike.
I love Giant Mike as well. Shout out to our friends over at Sherwood Ford, the Giant, where you can take advantage of the Nation Valet Service, door-to-door service. They drive to your house, to your work, pick up your vehicle, drive it back to the dealership, do the work, drive it back to you. And this is a free service. You're just paying for the oil change or whatever, and they will do Nation Valet Service. And you're going to get entered into some pretty sweet monthly draws as well. Book today, SherwoodFord.ca.
We're dropping off the Nation air freshener, so get the valet service and get an air freshener.
Yeah, we showed everybody last week on the show.
We put one in the bathroom.
And the bathroom smells
Doing
delicious.
great. Doing God's work in there.
Yep. Keys to victory tonight for our friends over at Sherwood Power Sports and Marine. It's hockey fans helping hockey fans. And right now the Price Thaw event is going on. Boats, motorcycles, ATVs, they got big savings on it all. Plus, you can join them at the Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show March 20th till the 23rd. The 20th is Thursday. On Thursday, Liam and I are going to be doing the show live from the Edmonton Boat and Sportsman Show. Taking the show on the road, Liam.
No, we're not. We're taking it on the water because we'll be on a boat.
Maybe.
Liam feels at home.
Fair.
Loves naval tactics.
Like St. George.
Keys to victory tonight, gentlemen.
His prowess was on the battlefield and gave him sainthood?
He slayed a dragon. Of course. He's a saint. My key to victory.
He slayed a dragon.
Yeah, like all the saints did.
Well, that
So-
was a prerequisite of being a saint is you slayed a dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah.
So is he fictional?
No, obviously he's real. He slayed a dragon. Komodo dragons exist, Tyler. Dragons are real.
You know, I'm not doing this. What's your key to victory tonight?
We can get him there, Liam. We can get him there.
Oh, we got, like I said,
Is that seriously the lore behind him?
I believe he is. I believe he slayed a dragon or something like
But
that. Yeah.
there's
St.
no
Patrick
such.
Day. St. Patrick got all the snakes off the island.
That's real. Snakes are real. Dragons aren't real.
Then there's
Dragons
no
are
islands.
real.
There's no island. There's no
There isn't.
snakes on the island anymore. Green beer.
Dragons are real. I can show you. But my
That
key to
can't be the lore behind him. What is the lore? Give me a key to victory.
I'm trying. You keep talking about dragons. Tell me
I
they're
recently
real.
watched The King with Timothy Chalamet.
Was he in it?
There was no dragons.
That movie's great. Robert
My
Pattinson.
Key to victory. I'll say I think you the second chances and like just creating your own possessions is what
I
I'll
think
go with.
Tyler's Googling if are dragons real. But anyways, carry on.
Work hard for pucks
Yeah.
is my key to victory.
Yeah.
I'll get the info for you, Tyler.
You know what mine is? Tyler, you know what mine is?
What's yours?
Liam.
Mine is bring
There you
that
go.
St. George mentality to the
Yes,
game.
it's a great
and
one.
treat Utah like a slam man.
Whoa. That was scary.
Slam man night.
Look at
Rogers.
that is violent.
But is that a dragon?
Oh, yeah. Damn.
Where?
Right underneath
At the
him. 'Cause
bottom.
he slayed it.
That's a small dragon, I guess.
No.
Sure. I guess
Come on.
I,
How big were these
I guess
snakes
he
Patrick got?
lanced a lizard. Is that
Well, let's not.
they're all about hyperbole in England, you
let's
know
not
that.
pretend that St. Patrick lured all these anacondas off island. Like,
Well,
it was
anaconda,
probably-
now you're using hyperbole. They're just snakes. Snakes are gone. Dragons, I guess he abolished dragons for good. Extinction,
gone.
mass
Yeah.
extinction. St. George, fire-breathing dragons. Yeah, that is what we need. We need our slam in mentality here.
That was St. George to the dragons.
That is true.
There's another dragon. That looks more threatening.
Looks like a what?
Very little is known about George's life. It is thought that he was a Roman military officer of Greek descent
He's what?
who was martyred under Roman Emperor Diocletian in one of the pre-Constantinian
So
persecutions.
has no connection to England whatsoever, and you celebrate him.
Yeah. The day before my birthday.
Go red.
Very little is known about his life.
Well, we know enough.
Well, we must give him a day and celebrate. shouldn't
St.
we?
George, in all likelihood, was martyred before the year 290.
Well, I'm pretty sure St. Patrick was English. If we want to get into that, we celebrate him.
That's a very
Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, I'm fine with that. Again,
You're
I'm
not fine with it.
St.
You do not
Patrick.
like St. Patrick
It's
for
just about
doing a real true service to the people.
St. George slayed the dragons.
He's the patron saint of 13 different countries.
Albania,
Yeah,
Bulgaria,
you're reading it.
England, Ethiopia, Greece, Georgia, Portugal, Romania, Syria, Palestine, Lebanon. Those other ones don't exist. Rio de Janeiro, that's not a country.
Yeah, I know.
George slaying the dragon is one of the most frequently used subjects of icons in the church.
There
Okay,
you go.
I'm over this.
You haven't told us your key to victory.
I will
Slay the dragon.
This is now, this is now
Utah.
sullied St. George to me.
Well, I'll get more research done on him, and then next game day, which
Okay,
is what, Thursday.
you had me early. I was gonna literally get a St. George Day T-shirt made and wear it on the 23rd, red, of course.
I'll wear my red on the 23rd. that's for
As you
sure.
do.
Mistaken Mexican. The AI summary for today's episode on YouTube is just going to be all sorts of fucked up. It's not gonna know what the hell is going on here. Okay. What else I want to talk about?
we do
My
the-
key to victory
Okay.
is play fast. Utah
Yes.
plays very, very fast. They skate well. They move the puck really, really well. So yeah, you got to stay dialed in on that. Oilers, they're not, again, the fleetest of foot, but they can play quickly. They can make quick decisions. That's what they need to do to be Utah tonight. Play fast. Before we wrap up, speaking of Utah, we're going to get to see Michael Kesselring today. And Liam, that was the subject of your one big take, which is brought to you by Service Credit Union and the Service Big Share contest. Find it online, service.ca/win. It's your chance to win $1 million. And guess what? You just have to save money. That's the barrier to entry here. Every $500 you save gets you 5 entries into the Service Big Share contest. Boom. Simple as that. Liam, what is your one big take for today? Because I know it's about Michael Kesselring.
It is about Michael Kesselring. Obviously, former Oilers prospect,
We
sixth-round
we
pick.
miss you.
Yeah, definitely. But I think there's like this lingering fear that every time the Oilers trade away a prospect that he is Michael Kesselring.
Yeah.
I just want it to be known that Michael Kesselring is basically the only player the Oilers have let go that's turned out to be.
He's the anomaly.
Yes. The rest of them, you look back at it, the Oilers have let go of, like Reed Schaefer. He's a first-year pro. It's hard to really evaluate him too hard. Skylar Brindamore didn't want to sign here. Everyone was very upset about that. Max Warner has 2 points this season. Shane Lachances didn't want to sign here. Dmitry Samarikov is in the KHL. Rafael Lavoie doesn't have an NHL point to his name despite playing NHL games.
Yep.
There's all these guys, and while we'll watch Michael Kesselring tonight and be like, wow, I wish he was on our team. And I do. That trade didn't work out for the Oilers at all, but it should be known that he is like the only one that has happened to. And
Xavier
people keep
Borgo not doing a whole heck of a lot.
No, Ruby Javency just went to Finland, though. No,
Yeah, but he is
that
always
doesn't
hurt.
really matter. People talk, Ryan S. Holloway and Broberg, not the same.
Didn't trade them away.
Yeah, Oilers, that wouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have happened.
Shouldn't have happened.
It's a different scenario.
And again, you can't, that's a whole different reason to criticize the team. That's not a trading away prospects problem. If anything, you could argue they should have traded him away before they got offer sheeted.
Yeah.
Could
I
have
guess
had
if you want to.
whoever from St. Louis. I don't know.
Doug, wait, Petrie? Come on.
Petrie.
We're not going that far.
But that wasn't trading a prospect.
No,
Yeah, he
he
was
was an NHLer. McLeod? He was an
That wasn't
NHLer.
trading a prospect. You
Yeah.
got a prospect, actually. You did the reverse.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
I agree with you. I do think, like, prospect hugging, it's always a big thing in baseball, too, right? Guys like, oh, we can't trade our number 12 prospect.
Like Tyler Benson, how long did we hold on to that guy for? Before
Yeah.
we were like, oh, he's actually just an American League player.
Yep.
And that sucks. Like, obviously, we want these guys to become something, but we had Bruce come on the other week and tell us how great this scouting staff has done with this last group. So the idea is like you can develop your players with your top picks and get the lower guys. And if you hit on a couple and then you're able to move them out for players that can help you win the cup or potentially win the cup, then that's what you want to do. So if you look at it in that way, is this trade with Frederick, which people are upset about, the others traded what was a 6th-round pick and a 7th-round pick into Trent Frederick. I think that's pretty good.
That is tidy business. You also do at some point need to start injecting youth into your lineup and actually give them chances to
100%.
succeed. But again, now we're getting to a whole different conversation.
Yeah. But again, losing Michael Kesselring, knowing that Nick Bukestad just didn't really pan out, blows.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. But
again,
they just chose Vinny. They chose Vinny over Kesselring.
Yeah, in a way.
Pretty much what happened. And it was just, they're basically
But
completely
the other thing, too,
opposite
is like
sides of
the people who will complain about the Kesselring trade also sit there and go, they don't go all in enough at deadlines. They aren't making big enough splashes. And it's like, okay, but like that's a trade deadline move. Getting Nick Bukestad as a rental, or they'll be like, oh, traded Max Wanner, blah, 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 for Frederick. Okay, but like you can't sit there and complain about the prospects they've traded away, then also sit there and be like, they don't do enough at the deadline.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
the only way to do something at the deadline is to trade picks and prospects.
When the others traded Max Wanner, the Boston media labeled him as a low-end prospect.
Because that's what he is.
Yeah.
He might one day be a third-pairing defenseman.
I hope he does.
And where's Michael Kesselring playing tonight?
Maximus.
Maximus, yeah. Well, we got one back.
Max Jones.
Maximilian.
Who, boy,
Yeah, he had great 2 games.
great 2 games, but
We'll see. He'll be fine.
I think he's lost the trust of his head coach. And from what we've seen, it takes about 67 games to get that trust back. Shout out Jeff Skinner. Back on the top line tonight. Oilers take on Utah.
Do we have time for the giant question, just quickly? I really
Yeah,
wanna get
sure.
Jay's
We can be
opinion
really
on
quick
this.
with it.
So, The Athletic did a fan poll of owners in the NHL. Did you see this? Daryl Cates was ranked 22nd.
Okay.
What do you think of Daryl Cates as an owner of Edmonton? It was kind of labeled that a lot of things are overpriced in Edmonton, but I think knowing, like, we've obviously been to a lot of arenas.
Yeah, you
especially last year. I
gotta
don't think it's
remove
that
some
bad.
elements and just look at it from, certain perspectives. Doesn't matter what arena you go to, it's expensive.
Yeah. Sorry, the other part about it here was the organization isn't stable in the sense that they have so many coaches and GMs during his tenure.
I think that's a fair criticism of him, is like the
Yeah.
overall
It's
organizational
hard
stability.
it's hard to argue it's not. They've had 7 GMs and 11 head coaches, I think. A couple of interns in there. But
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, you can't argue that. He's just trying to find.
I
his
just feel
team.
like him in the bottom third of owners is like.
I think that's harsh.
I think it's a very harsh view of him. Like,
Yeah, no, it's he's made the investment to make sure the team spends to the cap every year. So as Oilers fans, that's what we can ask for.
Campbell
And then it's
buyout, things like that.
Relying,
that cost dollars.
and then relying on your GM to make the right moves with that budget. Certain. Like I once again, not knowing how the organization, I don't think he has to sign off on trades.
No, I don't think so.
So
I actually think he pushes them to like have a high standard.
Yeah.
Which I think is good as an
we
owner.
have one of the nicest barns in the league.
I think that's
Hunter's
really
awesome.
I think the experience at Rogers Place is pretty
The
solid.
in-game experience and like the game ops for the Oilers is.
Yeah.
I'll put it up against anyone else in the NHL.
I feel like that's a slight.
Yeah.
I can't even like if you're like Jay, who's the best owner? I'd have to really think about that. And on the spot, I don't know if I can. But
the number one owner is Tampa Bay, and then it's Florida, and then Vegas. I think people seem to forget that Vegas left their head
But
coach
like, so
on
then
the
the whole,
sidewalk.
stability comment about Kate's, like the Vegas is the most unstable organization.
They just trade everyone whenever they want.
And cycle through coaches and cycle through GMs. Like they do those things. So like, because he's trying to find his winning formula.
Totally. My favorite one, though, and we can end. Last was Buffalo, by the way.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Go Bills. Terry Pagula's just focused on the Bills, and I'm okay with that.
Doug asked you who the top 4 was. So Vegas is 3, 4 was Dallas, 5 is St. Louis. But my favorite one of all of this, and some people won't know this about him, but was number 7, Stan Kroenke, who's the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah. He was given an A-, and the quote from the fan is, "The Kroenkes are the best owners in pro sports. They hire great people and get out of the way." The Kroenkes own Arsenal Football Club. And people might not know this, but a few years ago, the Kroenkes tried to get Arsenal out of the Premier League and basically ruin the soccer world by creating this Super League. So no, they are not. They are actually some of the worst owners because it's all about them and not about the club they own. So I think a lot of this, it's obviously hard to tell like who's who, but I think 22nd overall is harsh for Kate.
Yep. All right, we got to wrap up today's edition of the show. We'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully Frank Saravalli will be on from the GM meeting, so we'll hear from him. And hopefully we're talking about a 3rd consecutive Oilers victory. Pre-game with Boardsy tonight, 6 o'clock right here on the Oilers Nation YouTube. So look forward to seeing you all in that chat. And then Oilers Nation After Dark immediately following the final buzzer. Thanks to everybody.
Coomsy all night.
Thanks to everybody in the YouTube chat. YouTube chat, by the way, brought to you by Odd Company Brewing and Nation Beer Everyday Lager. Crack one tonight for the game. Kick your feet up. It's Tuesday. Come on. Enjoy the game. We'll chat with you tomorrow at noon Mountain Time. Oil up.